As we round up this week of fun updates for Star Trek, I have some Section 31 news that we're all kind of happy to get some more Section 31 news. More chat about Legacy, one of my personal passions. And along with that chat, an interview you definitely need to watch if you're interested in the future of Legacy and those who would be a part of it. This is the Star Trek Void, where I try to fill in the gaps between episodes with a little bit of news, a little bit of information, and hopefully some entertainment. And I do have just a great list of birthdays for us, all provided by TrekMovie.com. Thank you so much for sharing these, guys. I'm going to start things off with our only remembrance today. This is Pilar Surratt on her birthday, remembering Pilar Surratt, who played Cybo on Star Trek TOS episode Wolf in the Fold. Her son is director, producer, writer Dean Devlin, famous for his Independence Day and Stargate, among other projects. So I'm very glad that she's part of our Star Trek universe, and so glad that her son joined just like science fiction in general, because I very much enjoy Stargate, and Independence Day must be watched at least once a year. It's just required. Very thankful for her contribution and her family's contribution, and definitely wanted to take a moment to remember her. A big fan of favorite Nana Visitor, join us in wishing a happy birthday to Nana Visitor, aka Major then Colonel Kira Nerys on Star Trek Deep Space Nine and Star Trek Lower Decks. She's written a book about women in Star Trek, and we can't wait to read it. Celebrate with some Hasprat or birthday cake and meditation. So very happy birthday to Nana Visitor, and it was really fantastic to see her show up on Lower Decks. It was great. And she is fantastic to see in person, just a really generous person and enjoyable to speak to. If you ever get the chance, I highly recommend it. And a very happy birthday to Iman. Happy birthday to Iman, who played the shapeshifter Martia in Star Trek VI, The Undiscovered Country. And you know what? I really can't remember. Is it Martia or March? Doesn't seem like it was Marcia. Martia. Anyway, well, go ahead. Correct me below. It's just been a really long time since I've seen not one of my favorite Star Trek movies. Moving on. Happy birthday to Chris Sarandon, who guest starred in Star Trek Deep Space Nine's Rivals. He's also famous as Prince Humperdinck in The Princess Bride, Leon Sherman in Dog Day Afternoon, the voice of Jack Skellington in The Nightmare Before Christmas, and a whole lot more. Yeah, you can hear him and see him kind of everywhere. Very happy birthday to Chris Sarandon, and thanks for joining our Star Trek family. Somebody we love to hate, Jellicoe here. Happy birthday to the legendary Ronnie Cox, aka Captain Jellicoe in the Star Trek TNG two-parter Chain of Command, and the captain who finally put Deanna Troi in a proper uniform. He turned up on Star Trek Prodigy 3 decades later to give Admiral Janeway a hard time. But yeah, that's his purpose as a character, is to give people a hard time and to be kind of a jerk. But Ronnie Cox, we love you. Happy birthday. And a happy birthday to one of our Captain Kirks. Happy birthday, Paul Wesley. Happy birthday to Paul Wesley, who's been playing a lot of different versions of James T. Kirk and finding ways to make the character his own on Star Trek Strange New Worlds. I will be among the people who just did not see him when he first appeared. I could not get the feel of Kirk. I really didn't. I watched him do it, and maybe it was because he's playing the pre-James Kirk that we know, but I didn't get that feel. And it wasn't until he came back for the second season that it seems like things slid into place. I not only heard Captain Kirk, I saw Captain Kirk. And a big problem, I freely admit, is that he appeared on The Vampire Diaries, which was a television series on the CW for 8 years. And I watched it religiously. So I think I had trouble picturing him as Kirk, especially since we had just gotten used to Chris Pine playing Kirk, and he did a pretty good job right off the bat. So different versions, I just had trouble myself. A funny side note for me personally is that I have this man's autograph. I've never met him, but I got it at a Star Trek convention before anybody knew that he was going to be playing Kirk. Those pictures that had gotten out of them filming in Canada had not gotten out yet. There was no word one that Paul Wesley would be playing the new Captain Kirk. This was in 2021, I believe, in the summer. Yeah, in August of 2021. And while I was at a Star Trek convention in Las Vegas, the same one I'm going to here in a week, I found, or actually in a few days, I found another convention goer had gotten his photo and autograph in their package, but didn't know who he was, didn't want the autograph, and was asking around. And I said, "Oh yeah, he's in the Vampire Diaries. I would love to have that." And I think I offered her a homemade mask because it was right after COVID that was Star Trek themed. She didn't even want to trade. She just wanted to get rid of it. And immediately after he was announced, I felt so guilty because that other convention goer has got to feel like, oh man, I gave up somebody who was going to be on Star Trek. So that's just a side note. Back to the actual video. Because Paul was the last of our birthdays, and that means it's time for some behind the scenes and fun shares from our actors. This one is shared by Star Trekkers, and lots of hashtags, no information about the image, but that's a hell of an image. We've got our Catherine Janeway. We've got Commander and soon to be Captain Sisko, Commander, soon to be Captain Riker, and of course our original Captain Kirk. And just that is a great picture. I kind of wish that I could use this as our thumbnail, but I think it's all very they're all very beige, and I'm afraid that it would all blend in. So lovely image. See if I can find something better for our thumbnail, though. And here is another good picture. Star Trek Hold shares perfect FBF for National Selfie Day. This one is from 3 days ago, probably a little bit more since I saved this image. Tag someone who needs to see this. This is at Nimoy Official and via Jonathan Frakes, who took the picture. Nice. That's a good looking group of folks. I hope I get to hang out with them someday. Maybe in about 4 or 5 days. At least some of them, you know? And another great one. This one is a definite behind the scenes image because as we can see, they are celebrating 100 episodes of Star Trek Voyager, and we have got just about everybody on the crew there. It's just some of them didn't have to get into costume or makeup for this, so that's fair. And this is 100th episodes of Voyager via unknown, so we don't know who was credited for this image, but it wasn't me who took it. So tag to credit if you do know. But I don't know the information, but I do know that this is a great thing to celebrate 100 episodes. That is usually around the 5th season point, so makes sense with what we see Seven wearing. Because that does change as time goes on. And another great shot shared by Remember Rojas. And this one is in Spanish, so I will translate. And so what it says is, from Ramirez Rojas, we wish that one day we could be making a camp, and while one of us falls from the top of a cliff, another saves him with his flying boots, while a third is in charge of carrying the chupi. Long beer and prosperity. Oh, I think somebody had some fun. Long life and live long and prosper. The translation is confusing, but okay. Long beer and prosperity. I will take that. Was this translation accurate? So yeah, we've got and yeah, we all know that the camping scene and Kirk falling off the cliff. Spock kind enough to catch him, and McCoy's just like, y'all are foolish. I'm gonna hang out by the campfire. Now, while I remain thoroughly excited about my trip next week to go to Vegas and see people, I know that a lot of people right now are on their own trip for SDCC. The Comic-Con in San Diego is, of course, the biggest, the one that everybody wishes they could get to. I hope to someday. But right now, what we do know is that there are some interesting things that are going to be happening concerning Star Trek at the Comic-Con, just real quick, because with any luck after this weekend, we'll have a little bit more Star Trek information. So what I have here is info on 3 panels. If you are at the San Diego Comic-Con, you'll probably want to hit these. This is shared by Star Trek on Instagram, gearing up for an epic Star Trek SDCC week. A lot of hashtags for Star Trek, Intergalactic Friendship Day, Friendship Universal, Strange New Worlds, Lower Deck, Section 31, Starfleet Academy, and Star Trek Prodigy. The fact that they are hashtagging all of those things means that at some point they will probably be talking about it. But the panels right now say Star Trek Universe Panel. That's a lot. Star Trek. Saturday, July 27th, 1:45 to 3:15 p.m. in Hall H, featuring Strange New Worlds, Lower Deck, Starfleet Academy, and Section 31. I would assume cast and crew, but let me know, and I hope that we will see some pictures. Then the next one is Intergalactic Friendship Panel, Star Trek X Doctor Who. Oh, Star Trek what versus Doctor Who? Saturday, July 27th, again tomorrow, 5:30 to 6:30 in room 6A with Alex Kurtzman and Russell T Davies. Oh, that's fun. So now this is something else that's been discussed, and I think I even mentioned it in an earlier post, an earlier update, is there is this desire to see a Star Trek Doctor Who crossover, and both universes have kind of hinted at each other. So wouldn't that be interesting if this panel, in a couple of years, we got a crossover? Maybe Legacy will cross over with Doctor Who. That would be cool. The last panel that they are planning for Star Trek at the San Diego Comic-Con that they're advertising here is Star Trek Prodigy panel, special screening and conversation. So there again has been some rumor that season 2 is the second one. It's already been decided. If you go on to IMBD and go check out Star Trek Prodigy, you will see there is a beginning and end date already for the show. However, there are a lot of people, including myself, who desperately would love to see a third season. My daughter would very much like to see what happens next. And they've set it up so well for more story to be told. So I do hope that there is a movement and an initiative that works out so we get more Prodigy. As for other future shows, new cast members joined Star Trek Section 31 movie, and this just came out from TrekCentral.net, and it does discuss some new faces that we do expect to see on Section 31. All right, now we did already. All right, now we're already aware that Section 31, it's done being filmed. These are not new things that nobody knew. Obviously, the people who made the movie are already very aware of who's in it. But we're now getting some reveals, and we expect to get some more over the weekend at San Diego Comic-Con. So more information will most likely come out throughout over the weekend. But right now we've got Cindy Go, who will be playing Giorgio's mother. This article tells us that Go seems to be a new actress to the scene. Her only previous role is in the production Kindred, which, like Section 31, is currently in post-production. The next announcement also gives us a bit of a spoiler. Additionally, actor Nikita Kim will play Philippa Giorgio's younger brother. Kim is another fresh face in the acting scene. Their only previous role was in the TV series The Desert. It seems Star Trek Section 31 will expand on family life for Philippa Giorgio. We also found out that actor Houston Wong will play Giorgio's dad. They've appeared in quite a few TV series and TV movies before. Production include One More Time and Air Crash Investigation, now based on the ages of those involved here. It seems we may be looking at flashbacks. However, there is the possibility of more time travel happening. And from there, the article does go over more about Section 31, information we already know as far as other actors who have joined, as well as reminding us that Giorgio is being thrown back in time. We just don't know how far. And so, based on the ages, it could be flashbacks. It could be that she's tossed back a little further than we expected. The one thing about Section 31 is that we don't know tons, which has been kind of nice. It'll be interesting to find out more as the date draws nearer for that show's premiere, which, as we know, is not going to be until 2025. So it'll be a minute, but it's nice to get a little bit of information where we can. Now here I've got two things all about the same thing. One is a Screen Rant article that goes over an interview done with Terry Matalas and Ed Speleers on Dominic Keating's and Connor Trinneer's new show, The Decon Chamber. And the other one is the actual interview. So there'll be two links in case you don't want to watch the whole video, but you do want to see what happens. Or if you want to watch the whole video, that'll be there too. As always, those links will be found below in the description. But right now, I'm just going to show you a real quick quote from Terry Matalas when it comes to Star Trek Legacy, because, as I said, this is a big passion of mine. It is something that I will continue to talk about on this channel, but it's also something that people have thought, well, it's too late now. It'll never happen. It's been more than a year since Picard was over. And guess what? In the way things work today, we expect immediate satisfaction from a want, and that is just not how Hollywood works, especially when you take into consideration things like how streaming works. They're already pulling different things and adding new content to Paramount Plus while there's a Skydance merger probably on the horizon. Terry's doing a thing, Ed's got a few things, Jerry Ryan's been doing. There's just a lot going on. So the immediate satisfaction thing, not going to happen. It's going to be a couple of years, if anything. We already had an interview with Todd saying pretty much that. However, it's important to note that those who would like to make it are invested in the story happening. This is a quote taken from that interview done on Decon. The whole world doesn't know how often we talked or texted about it. I mean, I even wrote scenes and stuff. I wrote a scene with Jack and Captain Seven at a bar that was great. You were the bones to her Kirk. It was fun. What's great about it is if it ever happens, you can come in late, and it would be really interesting to see what happened to all of them, like way down the line, to have a more formed relationship between you and Jerry. So I would never say never. And of course, he is referring to Star Trek Legacy. Yes, that spinoff that we just sort of expected to happen after the end of Picard. It was laid out very nicely. And so we were just sort of sitting back waiting for an announcement. And when that announcement didn't come, well, as fans, we know what to do for Star Trek. We get loud about it. And Terry did ask us to be loud. We want to see Star Trek Legacy happen. So we've been tweeting about it. We've been Instagramming about it. We've been making videos about it. We are getting signatures from other fans and sending them into Paramount Plus to make sure they know that the fans are passionate and do want this show to happen. And so it was no surprise to see that the Star Trek Legacy came up as part of the discussion on the Decon Chamber when they were interviewing both Terry and Ed. And if there's one thing I can say is that Ed seems very aware that playing Jack Crusher has opened up some doors for him and has allowed him to see how far his career could go and the kind of different characters he could play. And of course, as far as Terry goes, doing so well with Picard Season 3 has opened up doors for him to do other projects as well. And with this interview, they do cover all of that, plus so much more as far as what it was like for Ed on Aragon, Terry's hopes for what's going to happen next. And really, you know, Connor and Dom are always super fun to listen to as they have the knowledge and have some really great questions and really do turn an interview into a great conversation. So definitely check that out if you can. Thanks so much for joining me here. That is everything I have so far this week. Next week, I will be going live multiple times, both on YouTube and Instagram from Las Vegas. I'm hoping that I will be able to get some good shots of the convention center. What's not the convention center? Of the vendor's room, of our stars. Kind of got to be careful about that because pictures are not free, but I can sometimes get away with walking the floor because we are there for a reason and not just to take pictures and show them on Instagram. Do join me at our table if you see us. I will be the one with purple hair, and we will have a table in the vendor's room with a banner that has posters for Legacy. We should be hard to miss. So do make sure you stop by. If you do, and you sign one of our letters and show support and supplies have not run out, you could find yourself in possession of something called Latinum. Yes, I have several gold press Latinum slips to go in for our, I think I'm up to 70. Of our first people who come and by the table, say hi, support, sign if you can. For people who would like to come and volunteer, gather signatures and spread the word for, I don't know, an undetermined amount of time or an undetermined number of signatures, you will get a bar of gold pressed Latinum. Yes, this is for your time. We do appreciate it. And so you get a little something out of it. We also have some hats that say Star Trek Legacy, but they're over there with my stuff to pack. And I have a lot of Latinum sitting next to me. As for our stars and Terry, we have a little something special for them as well. They will be getting a gift bag with their own brick of gold pressed Latinum, because we know that during these difficult times, money matters. And I'm not above a little bribery. I really want Star Trek Legacy to happen, okay? Thanks so much for joining me in this video. If you enjoy the format, please give it a like and subscribe to the channel. Hit that notifications bell so you'll know when the next video comes out. To all my Patreons and my members, thanks so much for your extra support. I do hope I get some interesting extra content for you on my trip because I've been so busy. I haven't really included a lot this last week or so, so I do apologize for that oversight, because it isn't on you, it is on me, and it's just been a week. If you didn't get enough information, Star Trek update stuff, or if you want to see what else I do on here, please check out some of my other videos on this channel. There are quite a few now. Whatever you do choose from the channel, I'll see you there. More chat on Legacy, one of my personal... The voice of Jack Skellington in The Night Bear Before... The Night Bear? The Night Bear Before Christmas. So all teddy bears go night-night, right? Some new faces that we expect to see on Stargate, in Star Trek Star Trek TNG. Hi, my name is Katie and I can't speak.